Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial on Java. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about a new topic, and that is Java multithreading. In order to understand the threading, we need to understand also what type of different processing we can have, and these are the processing types. We can have sequential, then concurrent, and then parallel. The sequential is happening one by one. The concurrent method is where two processes are working simultaneously, and parallel is the one where two separate execution paths. So let's take an example. Let's say we have a ticket counter and there is a salesperson over here, and people are queuing up. There are 100 people in this queue. So the process is, first person will be buying the ticket and then move out. Then the second person will be coming and buying the ticket and move out. Like that way, there will be 100 people buying the tickets. So this is an example of the sequential processing. Let's say we are going to have the same thing, okay, with the same salesperson, with the same ticket counter. So that means the resource is same, but we are going to have two queues. So one queue will be having 50 in one line, and the other one will be having the other 50. So in this case, what is happening, we are using the same resource, that is the same ticket counter with the same salesperson, but we are going to have less people in each of the queues. And what will happen, the queue will be working in such a way that the first person from the first queue will be buying and then moving out from, and then the second person or the first person from the second queue will be buying and moving out, like that. So this is an example of a concurrent situation. And then the last one is the parallel situation, where we can have two different counters with two different salesperson, and each counter is going to have 50 people buying the tickets. In this case, we are using more resources, and that is obvious, you can see from here. So this is a situation of the parallel system. Now in Java, we do, or in this tutorial, we are more concerned about this concurrent processing, and in Java we do the concurrent processing using the threads. So now let's get into the definition of the threads. So concurrency can be achieved by either process or threads. Java uses threads to achieve concurrency, as I said before. What is a process? A process has a self-contained execution environment. A process has a complete private set of basic runtime resources. On the other hand, a thread is a lightweight process. Both processes and threads provide an execution environment. Threads need fewer resources than a process. That means the thread is a lightweight. On the other hand, the process is a heavyweight. It takes more resources, but the thread doesn't take more resources. Threads exist within a process. Threads share the process's resource, including memory and open files. Since threads are using same resources, communication among threads is challenging, because here we are going to have the same resource. If you look at this picture, in this picture we are going to have the same resource, but there are two separate threads going for it. So the managing and the communication is a little bit challenging in the managing the threads. So now there are different type of thread states. So whenever we are going to create a thread, it is going to have like 5 different stages, and we'll see in the next tutorial how we are going to create the thread. But right now we just focus on what are the different states of thread. So the first one is the new thread. A thread that has not yet started is in this state. So that's the state is called the new thread. And then it comes the runnable state. A thread executing in the Java virtual machine is in this state. That means the thread is in the running stage. The blocked state. A thread that is blocked waiting for a monitor lock is in this state. Okay, so that means the thread is waiting for the other thread to execute. So that is the the blocked state of the thread. Waiting, a thread that is waiting indefinitely for another thread to perform a particular action. Okay, so this thread is waiting for other thread to do something, and then this thread will be starting working. So this is called the waiting thread. The timed waiting, a thread that is waiting for another thread to perform an action for up to a specified waiting time, is in this state. And then the terminated, so the thread is done with processing the work, and then it goes to the dead situation. That means this is terminated. So these are different type of thread states, and we'll be getting into these states when we're going to do the practical coding in threads. There are a few constructors in the threads that we need to know, and these are, you can see from here, this is one, this is the thread. You're passing on the thread name, and then this is another constructor where we are passing on the runnable interface, and then this is another constructor where you are passing on something different as well. One thing we need to remember, that there is no guarantee of which one of the thread will be picked up for running. JVM will decide which thread to run. So that means there can be many threads running at the same time, but in a default case, the JVM will decide that which thread to run. So that's all about the beginning of the thread. In the next tutorial, we'll be working on how to create a thread. Thank you.